Start again. Okay, yesterday we were discussing about polymorphism. Okay, or in other words, how to write methods. We'll continue with that only today also. It's a vast topic, polymorphism. It's not as simple as you're thinking. Overloading, in that there are two, overloading as well as overriding. Okay, overloading itself is also vast. Okay, but let's get into this subject now more in deeply. Yesterday I just gave an overview. Yesterday I just gave an overview into what is overloading. In Java there is something called as poly. I just revised yesterday's topic, polymorphism. Poly means many, morphism means, sorry, I think polymorphism actually. Polymorphism, morphism means form. So see, polymorphism is there only in object oriented languages. It is not there in procedural language and all that. So in C and all you will not find this. In other languages like C and all you will not find this. So polymorphism is present only in object oriented languages. Again, polymorphism is of two types. Okay, yesterday we discussed compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. There are two types. Okay, so if you want to do compile time polymorphism, then you have to use what? Java uses the support of method or overloading. And here we call it as overriding. Okay, overloading and overriding, and right first, simple. It is also called as overloading. This is known as overriding. Yeah, one name, many forms. Okay, so see, why do you want one method? Means many methods with the same name now, or why do you want to have multiple methods with the same name? That's the first question. Okay, or when you are writing a method, see, we are actually trying to learn how to write methods now. Okay, we want to write class, and in a class we want to learn how to write methods. See, end of the day we want to work with objects. Get the basic first. Instead of getting into all this, first get the basics. We want to work with an object. To work with an object, you have to design a class. So if you see the other side, we are still consistently learning how to write a class only. Okay, but when you write a class, you should know whether how many variables to have, how many methods to have. Variables we understood little. Okay, so now we are learning how to write methods inside a class. We are learning how to write a method inside a class. To write methods inside a class, the methods in your class can have different names or they can have similar names. Possible chances are there. It's up to you how you write. Okay, generally we write methods with the same name when they are having similar tasks or when the functionality is same. That's what we say overloading. But when the functionality of the method is different or when the tasks are different, we go on to have different names, as simple as this. So we are studying that topic only. Little we'll go deeper into that now. Okay, so overloading. Overloading is okay, in Java there are how many types of overloading now? Okay, I got method overloading. Just summary of yesterday's class. Method overloading, constructor overloading, and operator overloading. So this is Java. Java supports this. Java supports this. Java supports this, but does not support operator overloading. But it implicitly is overloading this operator. Implicitly, Java overloads. This is implicit. We cannot do it. Developer cannot do it. But these two can be done by developer. This cannot be done by developer. Developer can do this, but he cannot do that. And yesterday we covered only method overloading and operator overloading. That's it. So I'll just revisit this program itself and we'll discuss about this now. So I'll just give overview onto this now. So and again in what do you mean by polymorphism? Yes, we know, we saw the table also. In polymorphism there are two types, you know that, compile time, run time. So if you want the support of compile time polymorphism, what will you use? We will do method overloading. Method overloading is also known as what? Early binding. Okay, why it's called as early binding? Because which method to execute during runtime is getting decided at or binded. It binds. When you compile itself, it binds. Okay, the binding happens at the compilation phase. That's why it's called as early binding. That's the same reason why it is called as compile time polymorphism. Because of early binding only they call it as what? Compile time polymorphism. Because which method to execute at runtime is decided at compilation phase. Okay, so if you want to do compile time polymorphism or early binding, what you have to do? You have to use method overloading. This is also known as static polymorphism. Then the criteria for this is what? Number of parameter, order of parameter, and data type of parameter. These are the three things. So your overloaded method which gets executed depends on this now, number, order and data type of parameter. Clear? So now when do you overload a method? When functionality is similar. Functionality is similar. Okay, there one more thing we have to add. When number, order and data type, number, order and data type, the criteria is this: number, order and data type of parameters. Here one more point you can write. Return type doesn't play a role in resolving overloaded methods call. Okay. The next is functional. When do you overload? When functionality is similar, but we have different input parameters. Different parameters. Lastly, what you saw? That's it now. Okay, so these are the things about overloading. So all these points we understood yesterday. Okay, return type doesn't play a role. Understood now? Okay. So then we are just getting the idea now. Okay. So then one more thing. See, when you are studying overloading in Java, method overloading. When you are studying method overloading in Java, you have to study with three things. Method overloading in Java has to be studied with three things. What are they? One with primitive types overloading. Second one is Varargs, which I'll be covering today. Third one is with wrapper classes. So today we'll be getting into Varargs. This one we completed yesterday. This little I'll cover this last part. Auto promotion rules I'll discuss. Okay, then I'll continue with Varargs. Understood? So are you getting the idea now? Why you overload and all that? Do you have any questions related to this? So is polymorphism a good support or bad support now given by OOPS? Good support. So only you have to understand why they have provided it. Earlier developers were having too much of difficulty. For only one functionality, like in C you saw, for one functionality, for absolute value, what you have to do? You have to remember three method names or three function names: abs, fabs, labs. For double tabs, like that you have to remember many function names. Task is same, but you have to remember so many functions. So that is for absolute value. For square root also, what you have to do? Again you have to remember so many function names. If you want to calculate square, you have to remember so many function names. So it becomes hectic. For the same task, for different data types, you have to go on remembering so many function names, means it becomes very difficult. So that is the reason people thought, let us introduce polymorphism. When the functionality is same, then they can overload it. Understood now? So in C what happens? You have to go with what? For every data type you have to go with one new method name, new function name, because in C you cannot have two functions with the same name. It will not allow you. In C you cannot have two functions with the same name. So if you want to calculate absolute value, that's why they write abs with int parameter, fabs with float parameter. They'll contain the logic, don't bother about that. They'll contain the logic. But to call this method, what you have to do? To call the abs function, you have to send int as the parameter. To call the float function, to calculate the absolute value of float, you have to call fabs function with float. You have to call it. Logic is there, but you have to remember so many function name. Long, you have to remember labs. Long you have to send. So this becomes a headache. This is for absolute value. For a square root, you have to remember again so many function names. No? For square, you have to remember so many function names. It becomes hectic. So you compare now. Simply don't say Java is difficult. Compared to C, it is 1,000 times better now. Understood? So this is the problem. But in Java, what happens? All these function names will be replaced as what? One name. What will you name? You can have one class. Don't bother about logic. Okay. Abs you'll have. And you'll have what? Int. Then you'll have what? Abs. Float. Then you'll have what? Double. Sorry, abs. All function names will be what? abs only now. Abs with what? Double. Like this you can go on writing any number of functions. All will have the same name. Which parameter you send, that one gets executed. As simple as this. So this is for absolute value. For square also you can have what? Only one name. For finding the square of a number, for finding square root of different numbers, you can have only one function. So this is the idea. So only when your functionality is same, it's better you do overloading, otherwise do not do it. Okay, you want to add some numbers. Okay, that time also you can go with what? So I want to add 2 numbers, I want to add 3 numbers, I want to add 4 numbers. So I have only one function name called what? Add. And go on changing the parameters. 2 parameter, 3 parameter, 4 parameter, 5 parameters. As simple as this. So understanding the advantage of overloading first. First understand the advantage, because if you understand the advantage of overloading, then it becomes interesting in learning what? These 2 new topics. Wrapper classes and Varargs. Otherwise it will become overloading for you to learn. Ulta it will happen. Instead of you learning method overloading, what will happen now? You will find it overloading to learn. Okay. And these 2 new features were added in Java 1.5. They are added in Java 1.5. Understood? So it's the new introduction. Up till Java 1.4 things were as simple as this. But developers were finding it more difficult, because see, the size of the application increases day by day. Okay, the demand for software is outpacing what? Support by the language. So what we require many things. But software has to mean, the language has to support it for programming, no? So what happens? That's the reason they go on enhancing the language. So whatever new things are designed in the language, it's only for what? Benefit of the developer. Okay, rather than taking it as a burden, you should take it as what? Advantage. Understood? So that's the reason we'll be getting into the next topic, that is Varargs. Varargs means variable args, variable arguments it's called. So anyway, these 2 are the new introduction in Java 1.5 version. Are you clear with this? Do you have any questions still here? So I'll start off with auto promotion and then I'll enter Varargs. Initially yesterday when I asked you, do you want me to type auto promotion and show you? You said no. Okay, so but now you see how important it is, because you neglect the basics. That is the reason you find the next subject very difficult. You neglect the minute basics. They are so minute, but they actually you'll be struggling that in bigger topics, because the bigger topics will be using this minute basics. So to understand Varargs properly, you have to understand what now? Auto promotion rules. To understand auto promotion rules, what you have to understand? Assigning value locally, or typecasting and all that. That is very essential. If you understand that, all this is very easy. So basic starts from there. Understood? And the things go on building up in a big way. So you should be comfortable in assigning values locally, in a local method. Like int a is equal to 10. That value if I want to give to another byte, what you should do for locally. But the same if you want to give to another method, how it will happen, means auto promotion, when it will happen, when it will, all that you should know. Okay. So then if you know all that, Varargs will become very easy for you. Clear? At the same time, to understand, see, Varargs requirement is 2. One is you should know how to send primitives as argument. At the same time, you should know overloading also. If you know how to send primitives as argument as well as Varargs as means what is the meaning of overloading, Varargs becomes very easy now. Okay, shall I clear all this and proceed to auto promotion rules now? Do you have any questions here? Return type doesn't play a role, is that clear? Okay, and advantage of overloading is there. Lot of overloading advantage is there. In C, you have to remember multiple function names, and here you have to remember only single method name for a single task. Okay, are you clear with this now? I just wrote an example. Logic will write, don't worry. Logic will write, but just learn how to design your classes. Understood? Logic is simple. Anybody can write a logic here. But when you write your logic, where will you put your logic? Where will you store your logic? Because when we write it, we should know how to use it again and again. So that is why we are struggling more here. Okay. Shall I clear all this? So what is the topic we will be taking now? Varargs. Varargs means variable arguments. So we'll be seeing overloading with this. This was the introduction in Java 1.5. But to know Varargs, a little we have to understand auto promotion rules. We'll understand that first. First I'll start off with a simple program, auto promotion. Okay. So first I'll talk about auto promotion rules. Then I'll come to Varargs. Clear this? Okay, see this. Now I'll have one class called as hello. I'll have one method called as, only one method I'll have, m1 int a. Just see how the methods get executed. Value of a is plus a, or SOP inside int m1. A single method I'm taking, but in this method you learn auto promotion rules first. Single method you take and learn auto promotion rules first. Understood now? Simply writing 10, 20 methods and then making it complicated, learn in simple program. So class demo PSVM, see this, hello h is equal to new hello, an object gets created. When object gets created, what is the object going to have now? One new memory gets, this is JVM now. See, this is your JVM. Inside your JVM, what has happened? Hello object has got created. Memory gets allocated. So it is right now having one m1 method int a. So address something, it might be 150 or something, leave it. So new memory is allocated, that method is there. Now I'll have one variable of type int x is equal to 5. Now to call m1 method, see, don't bother about logic. To invoke m1, compulsory you have to send an argument of type what? Int, no? Otherwise it will never execute, yes or no? So you will invoke it, h dot m1, and you send x, it will execute, no issues. Clear? Supposingly I will take one byte a is equal to 6, valid code, or byte something like I will take y is equal to 6, h dot m1, definitely it will execute. Why? Auto promotion rules. Carefully observe the argument and parameters. Okay, so you should know how a method gets executed. That's very crucial. Here I am sending exact type of parameter. Here I am not sending the exact type of parameter. It's of type byte. So when your parameter is big and argument is small, it is widely accepted. No issues. Okay. So always when your parameter is big and argument is small, okay, that time the argument gets auto promoted, and that value will be given to parameter. If you are getting confused, you can take it locally. You know locally, no? Take main method. See, there is one byte y is equal to 6. Int a is equal to y is valid code, no? Try locally first. Do not go and get confused there. If it is happening locally, now you are trying to give the same value to another scope. Maximum you are doing is that. So here what happens, the same value is given. This is a different memory, this is a different memory. But the value 6 is stored as 8 bits here. But the value same 6 has been stored as 32 bits here. So here again y is 6 bits, but when I call this method and send the value there, a will be having what? 32 bits. But value is same, but different copies. Are you clear with this? Are you clear with this? This is local. That's why I always tell you, writing logic is not at all difficult. Concentrate more on arguments, parameter, return type. And I'll be consistently teaching you this argument parameter for nearly 20 to 25 days still. It's not as easy as you're thinking. The main reason why you're struggling so much to write logic is, logic you'll write off, but by the time you call the function or method, you cannot call it. You'll start getting errors. Somehow you'll write the logic. Yes or no? At date mail, good date, or alak bulak, something what you'll do, and you'll write the logic. But you'll fail to execute it. Reason is, you have written it in a function and you try to call it, it doesn't happen. Understood? So these are the reasons. So supplying values you understand now, because see, always what is a method? Basically, method contains group of statements and they are reusable code. Remember this first, and that is why pay attention more to methods. Okay, methods in simple word is nothing but group of statements. Another big meaning of it is a reusable code. But the logic here can never be executed without supplying values to it. That's why it's so crucial. Understood now? So then fine, h dot m1. Now I can have one a short also. Short z is equal to 7. H dot m1. I'll send z. Definitely it will execute. But the same if I try to send double d is equal to 9.0 or even long. Anything can it be. Double or long. Anything you take. Long or double. Anyone. This is not possible. H dot m1 of d is not possible. Reason is it's of type. Don't write the syntax like this, sir. Write it properly. Understood? But if I try to send it, error I'll get because auto promotion fails. Are you clear with this? Okay. But if I have this as double, I can send any value. Yes or no? Now you might have a question. Better I'll keep it as double. I can send any value. That is not how it works. Okay. Always we actually restrict the type of value here. Simply we should not accept big values. Sometimes you will be writing the logic only based on int. Because here next I will continue writing here. I will be expecting two values. But the final value I want to store in what? Int. Problems will start off. That's why what I'll do, I'll restrict here itself. Int A, int B. So do not try to have wide parameters. Okay. Your parameters should always depend on the logic. Okay, if you want to restrict it, keep it to byte, keep it to short, keep it to int. So what happens, that time it will not allow you bigger values. And that value will fail during compilation time only. Otherwise, you'll start getting the problems during runtime. Understanding now, Java is giving you this flexibility. In C, you don't have this flexibility. Most of the problems you can detect during compilation time. Understand the benefit of this first. Are you clear with this? This is how the languages are designed. We are learning the language here. And how good this language is means you will almost all literally stop getting errors during compilation time later or runtime later. Most of your problems will be detected during compilation phase itself. Are you clear? So do not try to have broader values like this, because for this function any value can come. It will be dangerous later. Are you clear? So you restrict, and that restriction depends on the logic what you are writing. It can be byte, it can be sometimes be short, int and all that. Are you clear with this? Fine. So next what I'll do, this is one program, I'll type this and show you. So next program, what I'll do, one more program now. We'll have one M1 method with byte. I'll have one method with byte A, and I'll have one more method with short S, and I'll have one more, this is overloading now, int I. Byte short int. So now if you want to call, okay, one more I'll have M1 with long. Now what happens? Another program now. Okay, now you send, see here, now you send M1, which method will execute? Int method will get executed. Here means let us name this as byte method or 1, this is short method or 2, this is int method or 3, this is long method or 4. Now you call. Here precisely it will execute. No confusion. Because you have written, see if it matches it will execute that. If it doesn't match, then the auto promotion will happen. Remember that. If it matches, then it will execute. If it doesn't match, auto promotion rules will be applied now. So here it will call the first method. Sorry, which method? Third method, int method now. So here you are sending what? A byte now. So which method gets executed? First method gets executed. Here M1, you are passing what? Short. Which method gets executed? Second method, short. Here which method gets, but you have to send what? Long only here. Don't send double. Okay, here which method gets executed? Because double cannot be converted to long. Long can be promoted to double. So here which method gets executed? Fourth. Here, sorry. Are you clear with this? Clear this? Okay. Now supposingly I am having byte and int. What if I send short? Will long execute, int execute or byte execute? The nearest one gets executed. The nearest auto promoted one. Short will execute, int now. The nearest one. So practice all this very carefully, else you'll find it difficult later. And this is what is there in your SCJP. You want to write SCJP exam now? These are all your SCJP questions. Understood? So if you want good marks in SCJP, I am providing SCJP training only. Okay. And you have seen overloading is there in Balguruswamy also, and overloading is there in what? Complete reference also. But now I am picking these examples from where? That SCJP book. So I told you, when I take a topic, I will be covering it from all the books. Clear this? And we accordingly pitch it. So here, this M1, when you call Z, when you are sending the short, okay, so this will execute the int method this time. It will not execute the byte also, it will not execute the long also. But short is getting auto promoted to the nearest one. Which is the next nearest one to short? Auto promotion. int no, that will execute. By chance int was also not there, long would have got executed. Are you understanding the auto promotion rules? Understood? This is how the overloading works. Understood? Yesterday we only were worried about what? We are not worried about auto promotion. That is why it was very simple. We were worried about only number, order, data type. Simple it was. But now we are going into the auto promotion rules. Do you have any questions here? I'll type this and show it to you. Yes?
Different between auto promotion and implicit type casting is same.
Same. Auto promotion is nothing but implicit typecasting. Okay. But if I want to send byte to into this method, from there I have to send. I can't send. If I send int, which one will be executed? Int method only will be executed. Okay. But if I want to send it to this method, I have to typecast and send. So you have to do typecasting explicitly here. The caller has to do the explicit typecast. If at all you want to really send what? Byte. You have got an int value here. This is int now. But I want to which method to execute? This M1 to execute. Not possible directly. You have to do it explicitly. And how will you do it? Convert X to byte and send it. So auto promotion rule is nothing but implicit casting only. Okay, so while sending arguments and parameters, implicit casting will happen. Explicit will not happen. Explicit casting will happen only when you cast it and send. It will not happen. Explicit casting has to be done by developer. Clear? Valid question. Any other question? I will be typing this and showing it to you. Clear with the auto promotion rules now? Practice lot on this, because this will become very interesting when you are learning what? Varargs. So instead of struggling there, you struggle here. It will be very easy for you there. Understood? So always the high level things are built upon the basics. And the basic is what? What is the basic here? Int A is equal to 10, int B is equal to A is the key basic here, no? Which you neglect so much, yes or no? Always you neglect what? If I write a code like this, int A is equal to 5, int B is equal to A, what will you say? Sir is joking. Sir is teaching some silly things. Yes or no? Means here we are assigning the value from one variable to another variable in the local scope. Here it is of same type. It's possible. But if I want to give it to byte, short, int, there you should understand. Understood? Int to int is fine. But supposingly this is short, you have to typecast. Supposingly if it is long, auto promotion will happen. Work basics first. Anything becomes easy for you. But the problem is you always keep on neglecting what? Basics. What will you say if I teach you basics? Basics are. What is there in basic? That's how you neglect, and that's why you struggle. Understood? So things are very simple. You just concentrate on basics first. Okay? You just concentrate on basics. Things will become very easy for you in the further subject. Just basics you concentrate. Are you clear with this? So when you look at a method, you should know which method is getting executed now when I call it. It should be that accurate now. Okay, because see, I am telling you very clearly, classes will be there, a class will be there. It will be having plenty of methods now. What will you do? Create an object of that, and then what will you do? You will call a method. But which method is getting invoked? You should know, no. If you don't know how to invoke the exact method, what is the use now? Your return logic. But after writing logic, you are unable to execute it, means what? And why it is not getting executed means what? You should know the technical reason. So that at least end of the day you can go and debug it, your return logic. But later on it will become unusable to use. Shall I clear this and type now? We'll check with auto promotion rules. I didn't teach you type yesterday auto promotion rules. You only told no. Okay, I was about to type, but you said no, and I left it off. And now you are saying it becomes very important. So don't neglect any basics. Shall I clear? So understand this clearly, and then we can go to Varargs. auto promotion arcs demo. Clear this? You can give any name. Auto promotion arcs demo, arcs, yeah, class. Inside in the same file, overloading auto promotion arcs demo. Fine. See this. So I'll write on M1 method first. First learn with a single method. Okay. See, I have written here int a. Done. First of all, let's work with the normal method. I'll create an object. After creating the object, I'll call h dot m1. Let's see this. I'll have byte a is equal to byte I is equal to 1, short s is equal to 2, int byte I, or I'll take here, I'll take it as int x better. Okay, byte b, short s, int I is equal to 3. Simple values we are sending. Okay, then we'll declare all the variable. Okay, I'll try to send all this here. B, I'm sending what? Byte. Perfectly it works. I'm sending byte. Compiles, execute also. 1 is the answer, no? Yes or no? 1 is the answer. Okay, I'll send short. Yes. 2 is the answer. I'll send I. 3 is the answer. So auto promotion happens. Int to int will go, but this auto promotion is happening. Work with basics first. But the same if I try to send long L is equal to 4, now I'll start getting the error. Auto promotion fails. Long will not get typecasted and put into int. Okay, only implicit casting will work here. Auto promotion is nothing but implicit casting. Clear this? Okay. So you understood this process now. But do you have any questions here? No. So what I'll do, now we'll make it interesting. I'll write more M1 methods now. We'll overload M1 now. We are overloading now. I'll write what? Byte. Then short. Then int. Then long. And inside byte M1 you can give some good messages. Inside short M1, inside int, correct, inside long M1. Now if it is there, the matching one gets executed. If it is not there, auto promotion happens. Are you following now? If it is not there, auto promotion happens. See this. I'll pass now long. Which one gets executed? Which one gets executed? Long only. Can you see there inside long M1? Understood. Now if I pass byte, which one gets executed? Byte 1 gets executed. Inside byte M1. If one is getting executed. If I pass short 1 gets executed. But if I try to send double D is equal to 7.9, what happens? Double cannot promote it to anything. It cannot be auto promoted. Yes or no? Are you clear with this? Okay. So this will give error. Now what if I remove short and send short now? So we are removing short method now. We are having byte int long, but I am going to send what now? Short. Yes or no? I am sending which value? Short. Which method gets executed now? Int. So it checks if there is a matching one. If not, it will get promoted to the nearest one. Nearest one. See this. And int gets executed. Int M1. Okay. Supposingly, I'll have short. And I'll remove byte. And I'll send byte. Which one gets executed? The nearest one. I'll send byte now. If you say, see, if the matching one is there, it gets executed. If it is not there, then the nearest auto promoted one. So now short will execute. See that? Are you clear with these auto promotion rules? Same way you can add float and double and check. Understood? But double has the ability to accept any value. Remember that. But the broader the value, the more complicated your code becomes inside the method. Inside the method, when you're writing logic now, you'll be writing the logic using what? You'll be adding. You'll get the value. After getting, you'll be assigning it to what? Some byte value or something like that. That time, see, if I inside the method, see, this is M1. Inside the method, I'm working with one int data type. I'll write int a, some logic I'm writing, depending on the parameters what I get, x into y or something like this. But supposingly, if I make my parameter as type double x and double y, here logic will go wrong, no? So to restrict it, what I'll do? Int and int, because here in my method I am writing the logic based on the assumption that it is int only. Understood? So that's why we restrict. Don't have broad parameter. If required, have it. Okay, so a broad parameter can accept any small argument. Are you clear with this? You know the table now? Yesterday I wrote it. What is the table I wrote? Parameter argument. Okay, if your parameter is big and argument is small, here what happens? Auto promotion. Auto promotion will happen. Executes, no issue. But this is one case. Second case is what? Parameter is small, argument is big. Auto promotion fails. And always when auto promotion happens, it happens to the nearest level. Nearest. Are you clear with this? Yeah?
Here can we add byte and short and try to send it to the try to send that value to M1 method.
Return type.
Yes, no. If I try to send the value as an argument to a function, then which method will be executed?
You want to send, what is the argument you want to send?
Byte and short. Yeah.
Both together you want to send.
No, I want to add first. I want to add byte and short, and that result I want to send it to the send it as an argument to M1 function.
You want to add byte and short. The result of that addition you want to send it to M1. That depends on in what variable you are storing finally. No, he finally wants to add what? Byte and short. See, his question is simple. He wants to add b byte plus short. So you know what happens when you do the addition of byte and short, the result is what? Int. Here auto promotion is happening first. So you will be storing it in what? Int a. No, sorry, int something like result. Now this you want to send it to M1. Which one gets executed? You tell now. So finally it's the argument what you are sending that matters.
Sir, in overloading, sir, is that compulsory to write int result is equal to b plus c? I mean, we have to auto promote here on this in main method.
See, you want to send the result of byte with addition. That's your main requirement. If you want to send the result of byte with addition, you are asking me, should I write int result is equal to? Then it's a very, what question?
No, sir. I mean,
stupid question. No, because see, end of the day, the result you have to store it somewhere. That result you have to send it to the method, means obviously you have to store it in a variable. And that value you are going to send it as argument.
Sir, can we directly pass?
Okay, directly you want to pass like this. B plus yes. Where will the auto promotion happens here? So you have to check whether the language allows this syntax or not. That is now debugging. You go on working on this. So his question is, I'll pass addition and then do it. It will execute the int one only. And anyway, see here it's the question is, your question, okay. Finally, instead of doing it like this, first if you do this, I've taught you something called as an expression. Remember that? In basics of Java, I taught you expression. The result of an expression is what? Always. We are learned in expression, we learned arithmetic expression. the result of an arithmetic expression is always what? The result, it's a numerical value. The result of an arithmetic expression is a numerical value. So that numerical value you send now. But what is the type of value which gets generated here? Int type of value. Either you store it in a variable like this and send, or you directly send. So always you go to the basics. The basics matter a lot. When I was teaching you the basics, you're neglecting the basics a lot. That's why you're getting all these wild questions. This question should not come to you, in fact. As soon as I write the code, you should understand now what's happening. That's why the basics I taught you so clearly. Understood? So this is an expression, but what type of an expression it is? It depends on the operator what we use. Since I am using an addition operator here, it is called as arithmetic expression. When I use an arithmetic expression, the result of that is a numerical value. And the result of this expression is a numerical value, but what type of numerical value? Whole number value or what is that? A fractional value? That's the question. But that is one thing. And at the same time, the result of byte and short is going to be yielding what? Int value. So that's why it will invoke the int method. As simple as this. Clear this? See here, okay, one more method is calling. You might be seeing one byte to answer also. Byte is the first one I am calling. Sorry, this one. Forget this. Now only one will print. Are you clear this? Int. Okay, fine. So practice all this. You might get some 1 or 2 questions, but you can put it to code and practice all this. But this is a basic. What I am covering is the basic foundation. On top of this you can build anything. Clear this? Okay, next we'll get into Varargs. We'll get into Varargs now. Okay, we'll take one situation now and understand the problems of this now. Okay, then you'll understand what is the benefit of Varargs. Why is Java giving you that support? This is clear now? See, my question is simple now. I want to write some similar logic. Similar logic. The first thing is I want to write similar logic. Means you have to overload now. But there will be change in parameters, that's guaranteed. So the logic what I want to do right now is, I want to add multiple numbers. But I don't know the numbers. It might be it might be 2 numbers, it might be 3 numbers, it might be 4 numbers, it might be 5 numbers. But finally I want to calculate the sum of some numbers. So depending on that, what you will do now, you'll start writing the logic. So what is your requirement now? What is your requirement now? Write addition logic. Okay, of we don't know how many numbers. So supposingly, see now, we start writing void m1. If I want to add 2 numbers, I'll have int a and int b. Int z is equal to a plus b. Correct? This is the logic. You can add and return, that is secondary. But this is how you write the logic for adding 2 numbers. Supposingly, I want to add 3 numbers. So obviously, I'll not go for a different method name now. Because for adding 1 number you give one name, adding another 3 numbers you give another name, adding 4, it becomes very complicated. So what I'll do now, void m1 int a, I'll go with the same name but I'll change the parameters. Now you'll be remembering only one name now. You send the arguments. So here, fine, int z is equal to a plus b plus c. This is the one. Now if I want to add 4 numbers, now this becomes a headache now. End of the day, what is your requirement? You want to write similar logic, but we are having different parameters, agreed. But if you notice, all the parameters are of same type. Noticed? I am not getting one int, one double and all that. Okay, we are getting all same type of values or homogeneous values. That is one thing what we are observing. Okay, but every time we get, now the problem is, why we are writing so many, even though the value is same, the number of parameters is varying now. Here I am getting 2 parameters, having 2 parameters, here I am having 3, here I am having 4. Understood? So here the problem is the number of arguments which come now is varying. Values are of same type. Are you understanding the problem here? Values is of same type, but numbers are varying. Since numbers are varying, I have to go on overloading. Yes or no? Numbers are varying, I have to go on overloading. So I have to write now, int z is equal to a plus b plus c plus d. Same way 5, now it goes on, it becomes a headache now. So alternate solution to this is what? I can go for an array now. When you want multiple values of the same type, alternate solution to this would be an array. Let's see how you write an array now. Class hello I'll write one void m1 method, and I can write int array a. Yes or no? And this array length is unlimited. 1 second. This is another class. I'll have an array. So how is the logic you write now? You know how to add the sum of all the values in an array now? What will you write? For, you can use enhanced for loop now. I just want to read the values now. I can use enhanced for loop or what? Traditional for loop. Anything I can use. So I can write int x colon a. Sum plus is equal to a. SOP sum. Valid now? Is equal to x. Yes or no? Sum plus is equal to x. Or if you are getting confused, you write in your old style. Sum is equal to sum plus x. Both are correct. SOP sum of all values is plus sum. Okay, it's better you initialize to 0. Local variables you better initialize with default values. Are you clear with this now? Correct? Okay. So this is an alternate option. Okay, one more is, but for this int, can I pass an array of byte? Look at the drawback. I want to add now homogeneous values, but I want to add what? Byte value also, short value also, with one method only, or int value also. For this, I'll write the client code. I'll write the client code for both. Class demo PSVM. See this now. I'll create that object. Okay, which one? Or I'll change this name as A and B. It will be easy. This is A class. This will be B class. A class is having different parameters like that. B class is having an array. Now let's see. See, I'll work with A object. A is equal to new A. A dot m1. Okay. So I'll pass 5 and 6. You know which one gets executed. If I pass A dot m1, 5, 6, 7, which one gets executed? You know that. But A dot m1, if I pass 5, 6, 7, 8, which one gets executed? You know that. But there's a limitation for class A. What is the limitation? Numbers are fixed. I cannot exceed that. That's the limitation. What is the advantage of B? We'll see. B class. Okay. The advantage of B class is I can send any number of values. So create your array now. B is equal to new B. Then I will create an array now. Int x. You know how to create, declare, create and initialize now? You can do it in many ways. So you decide now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is irrespective now. There is no restriction. All I will do is what? B dot m1 of x. Valid now? Address is given. Brilliant now. So you have to know now how to write logics. So by writing logics, what is becoming the main idea here? Arguments and parameters. So you should be so powerful in writing logic that you write a logic, you should know how to use it extensively. But writing logics, see, you know how to add numbers. That is not a difficult task for you. But how to add different type of values and different numbers also, means many numbers also. The number should also be what? You want to add more numbers also, but at the same time different type of values, means they can be byte value, short value. Here there is a restriction. What is the disadvantage of this? Advantage is I can send any number. See, once if I send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values I am sending. Next time if I send 5 values also it will work. Next time if I send 2 values also it will work. Advantage is there. But one drawback is there. For this method I have to send always what? An array of type int only. But for this, one advantage is there. Disadvantage is there. What is the disadvantage? Numbers are fixed. But one advantage is there. If I want, I can add byte values, 2 byte values, 2 short values, or 3 short values, 4 short values, 4 byte values. All this it will support. Auto promotion. So here advantage is you can auto promote some values. Which one? Byte, short, int and all that. But restriction is the number. Restriction is the, so here advantage is what? What is the advantage? Auto promotion will be applied and I can send any value. Disadvantage is what? number is fixed, number of arguments is fixed. Are you clear with this advantage and disadvantage of class A? Class B, what is the advantage? Any number of advantages, any number of arguments, any number of arguments. But disadvantage is what? Only one type of value. I mean, one type of value means what? Only integer values here. I'll try to send an array of double. See this. Instead of int x, try to send double. I already shown you this error. It will not work because auto promotion will not happen for what? Array. Because there you are passing a reference. Here what is happening? Their values are given. But here what is happening? Their auto promotion will work because value is given. Here auto promotion will not work because it is array, reference. Getting the problems? And very clearly identified. Now I want combination of both. What? Chow chow baat. Yes or no? I want my method to support what? Both the advantages I want to combine now. And auto promotion also should happen. It should support any number of arguments also. Yes, we want the best of both. That is where Varargs will start off now. So you should always know the difficulty. Developer will have some difficulty in writing logic. That is the reason they introduce a new subject. And this new thing was introduced in what? JDK 1.5, Java 1.5. Are you clear with the problems here? Do you have any questions? Advantage, disadvantage in both the cases you understood now? Clear? Now we'll go with what? Varargs. And let's see how the Varargs solves all our problems now. Clear? Shall I clear all this? No doubts? I think where I'll write. I think it will not be possible here. I'll clear it off. It's a very simple syntax we'll have now. So simple, it will be unbelievable. See this, a class, hello, a new syntax Java is providing now, void m1, int dot 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 space x. That's it. 3 dots you have to give. This itself is called as Varargs, variable arguments. 3 dot only compulsory. And this 3 dots is called as ellipsis. Technically they call it as ellipsis, you don't bother. Ellipsis. The 3 dots, what you are seeing here is called as what? Ellipsis. Don't bother. So now x can accept any number of int. Understood? This is the new syntax what Java is giving you now. Varargs. Okay. So it can give, you can accept, that method can accept it. How you use the value, it's up to you now. How you use the value is up to you. I'll remove it because it will be confusing here. Just I'll remove it, but it is called as what? See, this is the syntax. Or we'll do one thing. Write some notes on Varargs. Then we'll come and study this. See some notes on Varargs. Okay, see this Varargs. It is used for what? Simplifying method overloading. That's the reason they have provided it. It is generally used when you want to send multiple values of the same type as argument. It is generally used when you want to send multiple values as same type as argument. Auto promotion rule is applied in Varargs because it works on call by value. We'll see it actually. All these topics we'll see. One method can have only one Vararg and it should be the last in the parameter list. constructor also can have Varargs. Okay, syntax you see here. What is the syntax? Return type. Your method should have what? Return type. It should have a name. But no, data type you'll specify. What data type? Int, float, double, anything. That's your issue. And you'll have a variable name. Understood? But this data type should be followed by 3 dots. And these 3 dots only is called as what? Ellipses. These 3 dots what we are using here. I believe if I... Can you see this now? 3 dots? Yeah, this is called as ellipsis. That's a technical word. Don't bother about it. Understood? My examples here. This is the syntax. 1 second. Are you getting the syntax now? This is called as ellipsis. See, this is the one. Syntax. M1 int dot 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 a. Now what will you do? You'll get the value from a, use it. That's it. So like an array, you'll start using it now. How many other values will come now? They'll come as what? Array to you. You send 10, you send 20, you send 30. Directly it will be stored in what? A. One by one you get the value and use it. That's it. Auto promotion also will be applied here. Clear this? So I'll type this and show it to you. Then we'll understand this program now. Okay. First I'll write the program on the board. Then you can write it. No problem. So now what you do? You can use it now. Just I'll print the value for. I'll name this as A. For int x colon A. SOP x. You can use all the values. And now for this, see how it works. Class demo PSVM. See this. Hello h is equal to new hello. You send any number of values. See, I am having byte A is equal to 1. Byte B is equal to 2. Byte C is equal to 3. First we'll work with int to 8. First we'll work with int, then we'll come to byte. So int A, B, C, there are 3 values. Or you can have more. Int D is equal to 4. Now see, I'll call h dot m1. You send now A, comma B, comma C, comma D. No issues. Or if you are getting confused with that name and this name, sorry. Actually the scope is different, man. You can use the same name. Int P, Q, R, S. So what will I send now? P, Q, R, S. All the values will go to what? That array. So it's stored as an array there. Okay, are you clear? So I can send any number of values. Now later on I want 2 values. Same method will work. If I want 1 value, same method will work. If you don't send any value, what will happen? No problem, still it will execute. That only will execute. So 0 to n number of values you can send. If you are having Varargs, the number of values you can send to this method are what? 0 to n number. These many values you can send. Isn't it simplified? You can see one method is solving all the big headaches you had now. Understood? Now one more thing. Supposingly, if all these are byte, perfectly it works. Auto promotion will happen. Because here what will happen, it is called by value. Address of all this is not given. All this will be given as a value to this x. But if it was an array, you would have got error. Brilliant now. Auto promotion rule is also applied. And I can send any number of values also. So one of the brilliant feature of Varargs which was introduced by Java in 1.5. So right, see, addition logic is not difficult for us. Doing the sum of some numbers in an array is what? Is it difficult for you? Adding 2 numbers, 3 numbers is never a problem for you. Oh, but writing the logic in one place and to reuse it extensively was the problem. We are looking for that solution now. And Java is elegantly giving you the best support for all this. And syntax wise, are you having any difficulty there? Nothing. And how will you write the logic for addition now? You know it. What do? If you want, you print all the values. See, using the value is your wish. How you want, you write the logic. Okay. How you want the logic, write it. That's your wish. Okay, if you want to write, you can write the factorial of the number, anything. That's your wish. Okay. So, but just I'm showing you how to send the values. Sum plus is equal to x over SOP sum you print. Over now. How much of code you are writing? I am showing you what? Shortcut. But directly if you have studied this, will you understand? You will tell what now? Syntax is difficult, Java is difficult, like that you will tell. You should not see it like that. Actually you should see the benefit of it. When you see the benefit of it, then only you will see the advantages of the language. Clear this? So this is what now? What is the topic now? Varargs overloading. This topic is actually called as Varargs overloading. You can overload your method using Varargs also, variable arguments. Are you clear with this? So we'll see the output of this. You are not convinced without output now, because I can lie, yes or no? So we'll see it. I believe I don't have to quote the previous two things what I showed you. Int A, B, C, D. That I don't know. Array ascending and all, you know it. I'll directly go with Varargs now. Or you can use the traditional for loop if you are confused. Traditionally, you know, for int I is equal to a dot length, that you can use. So just I'll print the value of x first, then we'll try to do the addition. What happened? Huh? Project is switched. Thank you. I thought you are very intelligent. Without projector only you can understand. Because your mind itself is the compiler, no? Done? Declare any number, that's your wish. I'm just declaring 4 variables here, and I'll call M1 method with these arguments now. You send. I'll send. See, first I'll not send any argument. That it compiles, it executes. Hello world. That M1 method executes, but the for loop is not executing. It fails. There's no value in it. But you can see M1 definitely gets executed. There are no values. So when I call M1 without values, what happens? M1 is getting executed inside M1, but the for loop fails to execute because it's not retrieving a value. Fine. And if I send one value, fine, no problem. See, the same M1 gets executed and it prints A is 1. 1 second, I'll just give some space here. Now if I send, and I'll remove one more line here. Now if I send 2 values, P comma Q, P comma Q, it will execute and it iterates twice. See that? If I send PQ comma R, it executes. Fine. Are you clear with this? If I send 4 values, S, still fine. It will accept any number of values. So it is used for simplifying overloading. Are you clear with this? And this is one thing. Now what if I change this to byte? Okay, first, if you want the sum of all the numbers, okay, you can do it here. Instead of doing this, what you do? See how you use the value, that's your headache, man. Int sum is equal to 0, sum plus is equal to x. SOP. Sum of all numbers is Over no, such a simple logic. So I'm continuing to use it with int only. Perfectly it works. Sum of all numbers is, it's okay. I think I have to declare int sum outside. Declare it outside. And you add it, because if you declare it inside for loop, it will become local scope. So declare your sum variable outside, use it in the for loop, and later on print it. Are you clear with this? 10. Yeah? If I declare it inside, I can't use it outside for loop. So scope is very important. Understood? Scope is very, very important. Otherwise you can't use it. Are you clear with this? Okay, now we'll change to make it to byte. Valid code. All the auto promotion rules apply here. Still it works. But if it was an array, I cannot send, no? Yes or no? So here what is happening? Values are getting passed. In an array, reference will get passed. That's the difference between array and Varargs. In Varargs, value will be passed. In array, reference gets passed. Yeah? If I want, I can make it as short also. You practice more on this, you'll get the clear idea. But unfortunately, there are very few examples given in complete reference in Balguruswamy and all that. You just manage with my examples. Later on, you can refer to good advanced books. I'll be showing you some websites and all. There you can find all these examples. But right now, practice only this much. Okay, because you'll not know where to find the examples. And sometimes they'll give some high-level example also, where you can't understand. But this much basic is sufficient, because to understand that high level, some more examples I have to cover. Yeah? Are you clear with this? Byte, short, anything can go there. So simplified now. So what is Varargs now? It is used to simplify method overloading. Yes? Okay. It is generally used when you want to send multiple values of the same type as argument. Same type. I cannot send one int, double and all that. All values will be of same type. Okay. Auto promotion rule is applied in Varargs because it works only on call by value. Okay. Now this next point we'll see now. One method can have only one vararg, and it should be the last in the parameter list. Now the question is, can I have two methods like this? I'll write. Is this clear for you? This is over now. Okay, I'll go with one more question now. See this. Now can I have two varargs? One where I'll send double values, double dot d comma. This is error. This my intention was to send any number of double and any number of int. This will not work. One method can have only one vararg. Only one. And that too, it should be the last in the parameter list. It should be the last in the parameter list. Means, see this. This is valid. I can send one double and any number of int. I can send one double, any number of int. See this now. It is overloaded. I can still call it. But I have to compulsory call what? Double d is equal to 8.2. Fine. H dot m1 now. And I'll pass d comma pq. So which one will get executed? Inside double and int. Simply I'll write like that. Double and int. I'll remove all this. How you use the value is your headache. But from double you'll get one value. From A you can get any number of values. That's how you use it now. But this is valid code. Okay. It is ambiguous. Okay. This is where some problems will start now. You just make it M2 now. Okay. Why and all we'll see later. But one method can have what only? That's little advanced level, which you can't understand now. But one method can have only what? One vararg, and that should be the last. Understood? One method can have only one vararg, and it should be the last. Now you can have more like this. Like one I can have boolean also. Boolean B valid. See, I can have one, but for this invoking M2 now, I have to send one boolean, one double, and any number of int. So one method can have only one vararg, and it should be the last in the parameter list. Isn't it in the last? See, this is one method. How many parameters it's having? 1, 2, 3, but the last one is Varargs. Are you clear with this? The last one is Varargs. Clear? And then one more. I'll remove this. So now supposingly I put only 2 dots. What will happen? This is syntax error. This is syntax error. You have to compulsory put what? 3 dots only. Now one more question. If I have void m1 again with int a, which one gets executed if I send one value? If I send one value, which one gets executed inside? Normal m1. Which one gets executed if I send one value? I'll send p. Which one gets? Okay, p is of type what? Int I'll do, and I'll send. All are int only now. Which one gets executed? So what is that? Okay, this one will remove it. Okay, so now normal m1 gets executed. It will not execute which one? The Varargs, because it's finding this match. 1 and 1. You send 2, Varargs method gets executed. So work more. You get the idea. P, Q, comma, R. And what I have shown you is more than sufficient. Do not bother much about this. More than sufficient. Okay, little doubts here and there they might prevail, but not required. They will get cleared as we progress slowly ahead. But the idea of Varargs you have to understand only this much now. It is used to simplify method overloading, and it is used when you want to send multiple values of the same type as argument. That's one thing. That's generally you get this concept now. Okay, auto promotion is rule applied here, and one method can have any number, only one vararg, and it should be the last in the parameter list. Okay, constructors also can have Varargs. This is all about Varargs. Are you clear with this? Little dots will come here and there. Reason is what? You are not good in arguments and parameters still. Once I make you thorough in arguments and parameters, then all your doubts will be cleared. Still we are discussing on the same topic, how to send values from caller method to callee method on. I'll make you thorough in that. Then you will, all these doubts what you are having will be cleared. Yeah? Still it's a big process. Still I need 20-30 days more, and then you'll get the clear idea about all this. So any questions? Varargs? Clear? Okay, one more thing. Can a Varargs method have return type? Yes, 100%. There is no issue. Return type is not related to what? Varargs and all. I can return, but what is the return type now? Int. So I will return what? On int you have to return. You can return what? Some single value. If you want to return all the values, make it as, see there are 2 values here. One is a, other one is sum. If you want to return a, what will be the return type? If you want to return all the values, array. Clear? I'll return a and show you. I'm calling h.m1 int x. Perfect. How many values are there? You got it, no? One is a values you got, other one is x value, some value. Some value if I want to return type will be int. But if I want to return all the values, return type focus. Okay, so h.m1, and if I want I can iterate and print here, same way. Yes or no? But this time, I'll make it as a here, that's it. Very simple now, and I'll print the values. Value of a in main is. So here I'll remove everything. Clear? Simply I'm calling m1 and returning the same value. Nothing I'm doing. Just I'm showing you how we can send multiple values and how it can return multiple values also. So now see this. And we are printing this value in We are sending 3 values. Can you see this? PQR. So it will print 3 times. In main it is printing 3 times. Or if you want, you can return sum. Returning sum, you know, I believe. Yes or no? You are returning the sum of all the values. So method having Varargs can have return type. There is no problem with that. So this time return type will be what? Who will accept? Not int array, only A should accept. Because you are not returning multiple values. And you can print sum of all the values is plus A. No need of any loop and all that. Correct now? Because we are returning what? From the callee to the caller we are returning what? Single value. Are you clear? Huh? Method array. So you are debugging now. Very good. So before compiling only you should know the error. Not compile and see error. That powerful you should be in coding, syntax. Clear? Huh? Your usual coding style is what you know now. Type all the things from top to bottom and then what? Error happens, semicolon. That should not happen. So any questions with Varargs now? Clear?
Disadvantage of passing reference.
Disadvantage of passing?
Reference as an argument.
Still I have not come to that topic. I am talking on Varargs. Any questions on Varargs is the question. Did I ask you any question on reference? So any questions on Varargs? Okay, practice. Still concept of reference is pending. Big subject. There how many questions you want to ask? Understood. Reference is still not completed. Are you clear with all this? Any questions? So this is how they have designed the Varargs. Operator, now see Java is supporting in Java when you are learning overloading, method overloading especially. In Java, I think it was visible now when I typed. Okay, in Java when you are doing method overloading, you have to learn method overloading with 3 things now. You have to learn method overloading with 3 things. What is that first one? With primitive types. Second one would be Varargs, which we completed just now. Third one would be wrapper classes, which we'll be seeing later. So if you know all this, then you have completed overloading. This is one more pending. So there you will understand. So method overloading is supported by Java and operator overloading is not supported. Operator overloading I covered yesterday. I believe you don't have doubts with that. Only plus is the default overloaded operator, which we cannot do it, but we can use it. That's it. If you use it with numerics, it will do addition. It becomes an arithmetic expression. If you use it with numerics, it becomes arithmetic expression. If you use it with string, it will do concatenation. That's it. And arithmetic operator cannot be used with Boolean value. Yes or no? That's why the error. Arithmetic operator cannot be used with Boolean operator. You should know which operator to use with what type of value. So these are your basics. Which operator to use where, all that should be very clear. And this is not a big story. This is very common in all languages. You work in assembly also same story will come. You work in C also same story will come. So we are still following the syntax only. But syntax of Java is more elegant as compared to other languages. It is one of the easiest and finest language with rich features like this. And Varargs and wrapper classes was introduced in what? JDK 1.5. See, there is one special class I will take on difference between 1.4 and 1.5. Fully I will be talking on differences. There we will discuss still more on Varargs and all that. Understood? One full class I will take and there will be seeing. Advantage means why they added so many features. This wrapper classes, not wrapper class, sorry. 1 second, I made a mistake I think. In wrapper class there is something called as auto boxing. That was added in JDK 1.5. Wrapper class was there from beginning. Wrapper class is there from beginning, but the concept of auto boxing was added in 1.5. That I will be talking later. Wrapper class was there earlier. I'm not saying no, sorry. Okay, so these two are the new introduction. In this, see, Varargs and auto boxing are the new introduction. This was there from Java 1.4 only. So these are related. Wrapper class and auto boxing is slowly related. We'll see it later. You'll understand how they are related and what was added in 1.5. We'll see it later. So Varargs overloading cover. So we'll move to the next topic now. So when you're writing a class, we are again coming back to the topic of what now? We studied writing methods, but again methods will be written where? In class only. So when you are writing a class, you should know now whether to have an instance variable, okay, or not. Means when will you have an instance variable? If you want to store some values, you will have instance variable. So once you store the values, then next what you will be doing? Writing logic. So that time you have to understand now. Again we have to write methods. Okay. So methods, will you overload or will you go for new method? All that you have to decide. And you don't have to worry now. Okay. Within 2, 3 or maximum 4 days, you'll become perfect in writing a class. Perfect. Okay. Very perfect you'll become. So we are studying how to write that only. It will take some time. Okay. Are you clear with all this? So we'll move to the next topic now. Called as what? Constructor. I'll move to the next topic called as constructor. We cannot complete it. I'll just give the intro. Lot of questions will be there. Do not ask only. I'm only telling you. You just work with that and come. So next class is what we are going to cover. Full subject on constructor. Full. Just intro I'll give today. What is a constructor? Why it is used and all that. Clear this? Okay, see, end of the day, we are learning 2 things here. One is we are learning our user-defined data in Java type. That's the main thing what we are doing. And that we are learning the class. Now the class data type what we are learning in Java will be used for 2 reasons. One for storing values. Simple, basics. Do not forget that. Don't deviate. One, it is used for storing values. At the same time, same data type is used for implementing OOPs. So if I want to do encapsulation and polymorphism, I can choose the class data type, and at the same time I can store values inside it also. Yes or no? So this is the advantage, okay, of user-defined data type in Java. But other data types in other languages are not so powerful. Now you might have a question: what is the advantage of this? What is the advantage of storing what? Data with methods like this. There's a great advantage. That is coming to data security, which I'll be explaining you very shortly. Okay. See, I keep repeating this. In a structured programming, your data will be there and it will be accessed by multiple locations. That's the drawback of structured programming or procedural programming. But here it is not like that. Your data is always secure. I show you how secure it will be very shortly. So this data will be there and your methods will be there. Both will be in there in the object, and only these methods can access that data. That's how finally it will build now. Understood? You have to reach to that level. Can I compare both and show you what is the problem in procedural or structured with OOPs. And this concept is supported by Java. Java is not following this structure. It is following this one. Okay, not only Java, C++ also does the same. But C++ is quite complicated as compared to what? Java. You can see working in C++ is very difficult. You comfortably learn to what? Yeah. Overloading, encapsulation, so fast you are learning. In C++ it will take a lot of time for learning what? Encapsulation, polymorphism, all that it takes a lot of time. Here so fast we are progressing. Understood? We are progressing very fast. Clear? Because you are very intelligent. Correct? Huh? Whether I am training good or you are intelligent, I don't know. But you are progressing fast. Both, huh? Okay. Thank you. At least you appreciated me, no? Okay. Because you are very intelligent, that no doubt. Yes sir, you are extremely brilliant. But the fact is, at the same time, a trainer should be equivalent to your intelligence, no? Then I am really privileged. Okay, fine then. We'll get into constructor now. So we are learning how to design the class. So we are storing the values now. Okay, so one side when we are storing the values, we try to store the values into the object in 3 ways. Means we are trying to in the user-defined data type. If you want to store the values in the user-defined data type, we use 3 ways. What are the 3 ways? Hard coding, dot operator, third one is method, fourth one is the constructor, which we have to learn. But we'll understand why constructor came later, and because first you should know the advantages or disadvantages of the previous things, and then you'll understand why Java designed this special technique. Understood? So if you want, you can initialize an instance variable To initialize an instance variable in Java can be done in 4 ways. One, hard coding. Hard coding should never be done. But I am not saying it is wrong. Some scenarios you might need it. This is one of the approach. Okay. Second one would be dot operator. I'll just write it off in short. Assigning a value with help of dot operator. Third one is with methods, which we just saw previously. After showing you how to assign the values with methods, then I continue to show you how to write different methods. So you can use a method for storing values also. You can use a method for writing logic also. Any logic you can write using a method. Okay. And finally, we are coming to the constructor. We'll see the advantages and disadvantages of all. Hard coding. I can initialize. What is the disadvantage? What is the disadvantage? Say I'll write DA. DA means disadvantage. Disadvantage is what? All objects have same values. Means you create any number of object, it will have the same value. Box peon. If you hard code class box, see this. This is hard coding. Int w is equal to 1, int h is equal to 2, int d is equal to 3. Now you create the objects. Box b1 is equal to new box. Box p2 is equal. All objects will have what? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the headache. So that's the disadvantage. But advantage is that I'll write it as a what? Object is ready to use. As soon as you create the object, it is ready to use. Values are there now. You can use the value for processing. That is the advantage. Here, again, disadvantage and advantage. You tell disadvantage. What is the disadvantage? Object is not ready to use. If you go with hardcore dot operator, okay, object is not ready for usage, ready to use. But the advantage is we can provide different values. Methods. What is the disadvantage? There are two. Okay, object is not ready to use. One more, you see, if you call the method with different values, what will happen? The values will overwrite now. And okay, not only here, in all these three cases, okay, I'll be writing it 1 second. Disadvantage, advantage. Okay, advantage is what? What is the advantage of this one? We can provide different values and reuse. Different values plus we can reuse. And there's one drawback in all this. Okay, means in these two there's one drawback. Here, okay, we'll see that later. Okay, now constructor, what it will do now? Here only advantage only, no disadvantage. There's no. So what will happen in a constructor? Only advantage. What is the advantage? You understand? Your DA means disadvantage, A means advantage. What is the advantage? Object is ready with required values. Okay, object is ready to use with required and different values. Required also plus required with ready to use with required and desired values or different values, whatever you want. This is the advantage of a constructor. So you'll see now how to initialize the values with the help of constructor. This is just intro. Clear? Okay. So let's write a class now with the help of a constructor. Now constructor is also one more member of the class. Constructor is also one more member of the class. Should I clear all this? Okay. So let's see now how to write a class with the help of a constructor. But how do you identify what is a constructor? See, constructor is nothing but a special method. It's a special method. It's one more method now what you are going to say. But the name of the method and the class name, you know, you write the class now. The name of the class name and the method name will be same, ditto to ditto. The class name and the method name will be same. That's how you write a constructor, or that's how you identify a constructor in a class. You write a constructor or you identify a constructor. That's how you identify it. Shall I clear all this now? Okay. So the construct is a pretty good approach what Java gives you now. So let's see this now. class box. You write your class, no issues. So we continue to learn how to write class again. We coming back. Okay, we are coming back to learn how to write a class. We learned how to write methods, but method is not over. Learning how to write a method and learning how to write a class will go parallelly. Parallelly will be moving. One side you will be learning how to write a class, one side you will be learning how to write a method. Again, finally a method which is written will be put inside a class only. Okay, class box. So you will have your variables, int w. In fact, your instance variables. See, I am showing you a new syntax. You can write it in a single line itself. You can declare your instance variables in a single line itself. Declaring can happen in a single line, variables. Yeah? So then, see this now. Box, int x, int y, int z. W is equal to x, h is equal to y, d is equal to z. A very simple code now. And I'll have the volume method. You know how to write the volume method now? So int z, or I can take int any value, int l. L is equal to w into h into d, return L. If you want to calculate the volume. A well designed class now. But in this class, you can see there are 3 instances. How many members are there? 3 instance variables, 2 methods. This method you are understanding, you don't have doubt. Name is volume, return type is int, no parameter, all that. But this looks like on different kind of a method or a special method. Why it's a method? It has a name, it has a body, it has parameter. But why it's called as a special method? No return type. Notice there? That's why I call it as a special method. Okay. Plus the name of the method and the name of the class. What is the name of the class? Box. Same name has been used here. So this is called as a constructor. So your class can have a constructor also. Understood? And Java is pure, not pure, a complete object-oriented language. Complete means what? Whatever you write, you should write it in a class. Remember that. Do not forget that rule. Okay. Are you clear with this? So this is ready. So now let's see how to use the constructor now. Okay. So fact is, let's see now. Let's just see. Just identify it. What's a constructor? It's a special method which has the same name as class name. That's it. Okay. Now how it executes, how it works, it also we'll see. Class demo. We are writing the client code. See this now. PSVM box B. Yes, you are declaring, or B1. You are declaring a variable. I agree. Object has not been created. So now how will you create the object? B1 is equal to new. Yes, new you have to say. New will always allocate memory. So what will you do now? Allocate memory. Box 1, 2, 3. A brilliant way. See this. When you say new, see this is JVM now. In your JVM, what happens? New will allocate memory. As is your class, same way code comes into existence. There is no difference about it. You plant a mango tree, what will grow? Coconut tree will grow, no? So how is your class? Same way this object gets created. Means if you plant mango tree only will grow. Don't get confused now. Understood? So then what happens? If you create an object, how is your class? Same way code will come into existence. See, creating an object, simple word is what? Bringing code into existence. What you have written, same code will come into existence. So what have you written? W, H, D, box, int X, int Y, int Z. Int X, comma, int Y, comma, int Z. W is equal to X, H is equal to Y, T is equal to Z, int volume. So this is your method and it is same. What you have written, same code will come into existence. I am not writing the code in volume, but same thing will come into existence, and this is B1. Address might be what? Address might be 150, 250. You don't bother about that address now. You are allocated. So the duty of new keyword, see there are a lot of things which happen in this line. The duty of new is to only allocate memory like this. That's all it will do. More than that, new will not do anything. New simply allocates a new memory. More than that, it's not doing anything. I've told you, these 2 lines will take around 3 or 4 more days to understand for you. Do not neglect these 2 lines. They look very simple, but there are a lot of things which happen here. Now slowly we are splitting. We declared a variable. Okay, new is allocating the memory. Now in that memory, this method is getting executed. It is getting invoked. This is a method, but we technically call it as a constructor. So as soon as the memory got allocated, immediately the constructor gets executed, and 1, 2, 3 are the arguments what you are passing. and they will be given to these parameters. Argument and parameter, are you comfortable now? So 1, 2, 3 are arguments, xyz is the parameter, it's given to xyz, and immediately the values are initialized to 1, 2, 3. You are creating the object also, at the same time values are getting initialized. Parallelly it will happen. Okay, so if you want, you can print SOP value of W in box B is plus P1 dot W. SOP value of H in, earlier it was printing what? You know, depends. If it was hard coded, it was initialized, dot operator and method 0, 0 it was printing, but now it's ready. SOP value of D in box P is, or B1, no? B1 dot W plus P1 dot D. And if I want the volume, I can calculate the volume. B1 dot volume, return type I'll accept int Z, and I can also print volume of box B1 is plus Z. Finished, over. You struggle and write your class so easily, you can reuse it now. But to write a class, first you should know how to work with the object now. It is reverse engineering. Directly you go on to learn how to write a class, you will not understand. First you should know how the object works. That's why I was concentrating more on objects. You create an object, you access the member, what you can access, what you cannot access, like that. See now if I want one more object, I can create box B2. B2 is equal to new box of 5, 6, 7. Very interesting now. Again what happens? But see, these values will come dynamically. Again I am telling you. So as you get the values, you will dump it in, you will allocate memory, dump it into that. Some more values, what you will do, you will allocate memory, dump it into that. That's how finally it will be happening. You will get the values, you will accept it. Means you will accept it and store it into what? Like this. Int P is equal to 1, int Q is equal to 2, int R is equal to 3. Then you will send what? P, Q, R. Like that you will get dynamically, and you will allocate memory, put it into that object. Again 3 more values, store it in some variables and create, allocate memory, put it there. Okay, this concept will become very clear to you very shortly. Okay, that's how they will come dynamically. When I send dynamic values, you will understand it. So now one more new memory gets allocated. Again same story, man. This is B2 now. New memory, it will also have what? WH and D. How many instance variables will be there? Depends on the number of instances you create. So again it will have what? Constructor. I'll write it in short here, I'm not having space. Int X, int Y, int Z. Okay, then you'll have the volume method also. Same logic, and the W is equal to X, H is equal to Y, D is equal to Z. So values will be stored as what now? 5, 6, 7. And you reprint the same code. You'll find it. Object is also ready, values are also ready. Object is ready for usage. As soon as the object is created, I can directly call what? I'm calling volume method, and I can accept the result. Int V. It's ready for use. I can access the result. You can call volume and use the value. It means this volume will be now B2 dot volume. Here what will happen? Int L. L is equal to W into H into D. So here you will be getting what answer? This answer, 5 into 6 into 7. Here also you are having int L. If I call B1 dot volume, you will get L is equal to W into H into D. Means it will multiply this answer and return it. Very clear it is. But constructor, now we are using constructor for what purpose? Initialization purpose. Remember, we should use constructor purely for initialization purpose, not for writing logics. That's one thing you have to understand now. Constructor has been technically designed only for what? Initialization purpose. But methods are used for writing what? Logics. So do not use methods for initializing and do not use constructors for writing logic. Don't use it vice versa. Now method should always contain something called as, we say, business logic. Now business logic means you'll be using the values. Understood? We'll be seeing it very clearly later. What is business logic? Here the business logic, what it is calculating volume. This doesn't sound good. Volume is business logic, I will ask. But slowly you'll understand. So methods are used for writing business logic, but constructors are used for writing, initializing instance variable values. Remember that. Do not use it vice versa. Earlier we were using a method for initializing instance variable value. It works, but Java says use this one for this, use that one for that. Output is not important now. You will not get error. but there are flaws or defects in program. Understood? So what they say, we have to listen. Okay. So constructor should be used purely for initializing instance variables. They have designed it technically and specifically for that purpose. And now see how the constructor works. Constructor executes only once in one object. That's how they have designed it. Box B1 is B1. B1 is equal to new box. So this memory got allocated now. In this memory, this constructor will execute how many times, sir? Only once. You try to call it one more time, it will not work. How will you call it first of all? If you say new box, one more new memory is allocated. And in that memory, constructor gets executed. So in one memory allocation, one constructor is executed only once. Okay, by chance, now see this. I'll try to call b1.box and I send 10, 20, 30. It gives you error. Even though a constructor is a member of a class, they are not allowing you the access with help of dot operator. They are not allowing you the access, it gives you error. So constructors have to be executed only with new keyword. You cannot call them with any other operator. You have to use it with only new operators. Here, new. Dot is error. Now why they are not allowing you this? There's a valid technical reason. What is the valid technical reason? If you call the method, if you call the constructor, what happens? It overwrites now. What will happen? The values will change now. To what? This should not happen. Actually, the prime reason why you are storing in the object is the data should not be manipulated. Understood? That is the reason they will not allow you to call the constructor with dot operator. And that is the drawback with other things. Okay. See now, you might ask one question. What if I say b1.w, I can change like this? No, you will say no, definitely. I will not call the constructor and change. But I can access the variables and change now. This can be restricted. We will see it. If you make it private, this will not happen. Those who don't know private, don't worry, I will be covering it. It's one more keyword. If you make your variables as private, finished. They cannot be accessed outside the class. Secured, no. No chance of manipulation. And it will be initialized only once. That is what we want. Once we get the value, store it somewhere. And they should never be eligible for manipulations. But we can use it, but not manipulate it. Understood? We can use it, but we should not manipulate it. Store the value, use it. Why do you want to change the value? The user will go on giving the value. From dynamically you'll get it from outside. And those values your program starts manipulating, it's very dangerous. Understood? We'll get unpredictable results now. So that's the reason they are not allowing you this access. So a constructor gets executed only once, remember that, during the creation of every new object. Whichever new object you create, one constructor executes only once. Are you clear with this? One constructor is executed only once. Here also you can't call b2.box. So even though a constructor is a member of a class, 50, 60, 70, try to send the values. It will not work. Even though constructor is a member of a class, you cannot call it with dot operator. Are you clear with this? Fine. Next, what if I write a return type like this? Because you are not returning anything here now. Now this is not treated as what? Constructor. It is treated as what? Method. Now this statement will go wrong. So how will you create the object? b1 is equal to new box and then call b1.box. You know how to work with the method now, no? You have to call the methods with what? Dot operator. That is wrong. So do not try to write a return type for the constructor and try to call it with what? Dot operator. That is wrong. Okay. So means don't jumble up. If you want to write method, write method. If you want to write constructor, write constructor. Don't jumble up. Simply writing void. If I want, I can return int some value, I'll return here. See, I'll write return w and I'll make the return type as int. Still, it's a method. Do not have any return type. Even void also you should not write. Understood? You should not return anything. So if you write a return type, it becomes a normal method. And always remember, methods should not have the same name as class name. What will happen now? Developers means I will write, you will get confused now. You will not understand whether it's a method or a constructor now. You will not know how to use it. So it will become confusing for you. And constructors have been defined with the purpose. What is the purpose of a constructor? Initialize. No other, nothing else, no other code you will write here. I will not write volume logic here. I will not write addition logic here. Nothing I will write. Purely I will be writing only initialization. And for this, if you write a void, I will get confused now. You can write volume logic here. You can write return int. But now I will get confused whether it's a constructor or a method. So do not do all this. Are you clear with this? Okay. So you practice this and come, or I'll type this one program now and I'll show you. And more doubts definitely you'll get now. Just practice normally. Okay. And next class we'll be going more deeper into this. Now one more thing. If I don't write a constructor, till now you are not writing a constructor. We are not writing. Yes or no? That time what happens? And that time you are calling one something like this, no? How are you creating the objects? Till now you are creating the object like this. This is also nothing but invoking a constructor only. But it is not there. Yes or no? So you are actually invoking the default constructor. There is something called as default. If you don't write a constructor in your class, okay, if you don't write your constructor in the class in the source file, if you don't write a constructor in the class in the source file, when you compile, what will the dot class, the compiler do, it will add one default constructor in the dot class file. And finally it is the dot class which is executed, not the source code. Java file is not executed. It is the dot class file which executes. Understood? So when you compile this, if you don't write this, imagine. So when you compile, this will be your box dot class. And in box dot class, what will be your code now? Whatever you have written will be there. Int whnd will be there. Plus one default constructor will be there. This will be there. Plus it will have volume method. And this is your dot class file. And this dot class file which gets executed, but not Java file. This is Java file. This is visible to you. This will not be visible. Understood? Means today I'll show you the default constructor. Are you clear with this? So that is when you say new box, actually this dot class is loaded into the JVM and the constructor was getting executed. Which constructor? The default constructor. So remember, for an object to be created successfully, a constructor has to get executed. If the constructor completes the execution only, then only we say the object has got created. They have designed it like that. If you don't write, it will be calling it. If you write, well and good, no problem. But if you write a constructor, default constructor will not be added. Remember that. If you write a constructor, what will happen? Default constructor will not be added. Understood? If you write it, supposingly I write this constructor, default one will not be added, and if you try to call now, you will get error. You will get error because where is it now? Arguments and parameters should match now. Same rule. Are you clear with this? I'll type this program and show you now, and we'll finish with this. This is the beginning of what? Constructor. Okay, more topics are there to be discussed. Practice this and come. This is just a small intro. I'm not saying constructor is over. Clear? And you can hold back your doubts. Just practice and come. Because without completion, even it is wrong on my part to ask any doubts. Yes or no? File new, okay. Constructor demo. So I'll name my new folder as constructor. Okay, I can see this now. Int w. See, first I'll not write a constructor. I'll show you the default constructor getting added. First I'll show you that. Okay, I'll not write it. So we have saved it, and you can see now. I'll go to the Explorer and show you. You go to the location where you have saved your file. So I have saved it in constructor. There is only one .java file. Yes or no? Yes or no? So I'll compile now. See this. I'll compile. When I compile, what happens? You can notice there are two dot class files which get generated. Box dot class. Yes or no? See, this is the code. When I compile, what happens? These are two dot class files which are getting generated. If I want, I'll try to open and show you the dot class file. Here, see, if I try to open box dot class, it will open edit plus, but it's not visible properly. So I want to see what is the content. Okay. Or see, one more thing is, if you go to DOS prompt, from DOS prompt also you can compile, no issue. You know how to compile, no? Java C, fine. But after compiling, this dot class file is generated now. But I want to see what is the content of this now. Okay. So anyway, see, there is something called as compiler. What does the compiler do? Converts what? What does compiler do? I did not say what does Java compiler do. What does the compiler do? Converts high level code to low level code. We'll put it very general. Low level code. Compiles high level code to low level code. What does decompiler do? Ulta. Converts low level code to high level code. So I'll use one decompiler. I'll use what? One decompiler, and I'll show you. Okay. In this dot class file, one default constructor has been added. Where? In the dot class, not in the source file. So let's see this now. So for seeing that, you have to install one software. Okay, see Java, this for compiler, Java C. It is given to you by JDK kit. You know JDK kit, na? Java development kit. When you install software, Java software, you'll be getting it. Where is this Java C? In bin folder. Java C is there in the bin folder, and you can use it for compilation. But decompiler is also there. You can use it, but we'll not use any of that exe file. Instead, we'll install on software, third-party software. It's a third-party software. They are given it. Okay, they are giving you this for purely what? Decompiling. Third party, somebody has given it, not Java. JDK is not giving you it. And they have named their software as Kava J. Kava J means what? See, there are many third-party softwares. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying use only this. There are many third-party decompilers. One of the third-party decompiler is Kava J. It's on software. You install it. If you install it, it's user-friendly now. You can decompile it very fast. Understood? It's third-party software. So I'll install it now. See here. Right now we are not installed it. Since we are unable to view it, we are installing it. So I'll, we are giving you DVD. Okay, in that you got something called as tools. Kava J is there. This folder will be there. Kava J. It's a software. We have compressed and given it to you. You unzip it. When you unzip, you'll get it. You know how to unzip now? Okay, when so means you say you can use any software and unzip it, you'll get this folder now. That also should show. Okay, I'll show you. So you can say 7-zip and extract to Kava J. So it is extracted here. So it is extracted. Inside folder it will create, no problem. See, inside this, you go now. Here you'll have something called as setup.exe. Just double click. You know how to install now? Finished over. Next, you are very good in this. Yes, sir. It is installed into C drive program files. Next, finish. That's it. Kava J has been installed. Now what you do, you can go to the location where dot class file is there. Right click. Initially it will not give open with Kava J, it will not show you. First time you have to add the program. So choose default program, select a program from the installed programs. Okay, browse, and here you can see a Kava J decompiler. Select it. It will be coming like this. Open and say OK. Now say it is opened. This is Kava J now. First time you have to do that. Now you can see the default constructor now. Where is it? In dot class file. Again I'll close it. See, next time you can directly. Now see, the icon changes. As soon as you install Kava J, the icon changes. Now right click, open with, directly you can do now. Kava J. See this. The default constructor is added. Understood? So if you don't write a constructor in your class, always one default constructor is added. If you don't write. Okay. So anyway, now now that is the one which gets executed. Till now that was happening. Box B1 is equal to new box, and I can print the values. Value of WHND, that is your wish. W in B is plus B dot W, sorry, B1 dot W. It will be printing 0, you know that. But what we are trying to see here is, if you don't write a constructor in your class, a default constructor is going to be added, and that is the one which gets executed. Remember this. See, new memory allocates, and here source code is not getting executed, dot class is getting executed. Are you comfortable now what I did now? I just decompiled the dot class and showed you, and finally it is dot class which is getting executed, not source file. Compiles and executes. Dot class has been loaded into the gem and executing, not source file. So in the source file you will not be seeing it. Okay. So it's printing default values as 0 now. Can you see it? 0, 0, 0. I don't want this to happen. So what will I do now? So I'll add the which one? Constructor now. And I'll write int x comma. So now see, int y. The name of the method and the class name is same, and this is called as the constructor. W is equal to x, h is equal to y, d is equal to z. Now I'll try to compile, but I'll get the error. What error? I cannot call this. There's no constructor like that, it tells. In fact is, see, I'll comment all this. Now compilation will happen. Now there is no error, because you are not calling any unwanted method. And now the dot class has been generated there now. Now you decompile this and see. What is there? Our constructor is there. Default constructor is there or not? It is not there. That's why it cannot invoke it. Are you following now? If you write a constructor, the compiler will not add the default constructor. If you do not write, it will add. Are you following this now? So now this is the one which gets executed. So now, if I want to execute this code, what should I do now? I have to call that constructor. So till now your code was working fine because the default constructor was getting executed. But if you write, your code will not work, because it will be invoking the, means if you write, it will try to invoke your, it cannot invoke the default constructor. It is not present there. Understood? If you write a constructor, it cannot invoke. Now it works. 1, 2, 3. So object is also created, ready for use now. Ready for use or not? Yes, sir. If I want, I can create one more object now. So like this, logically, we go on constructing our class now. And this is one of the best ways Java is giving you support to initialize. Does C give you the support? Does C give you the support? As soon as you allocate memory, can you put values there? See now, Java, it's giving you a brilliant support for storing values in your user-defined data type. Again, concentrate on what? Storing values in user-defined data type. Clear? So this is done. So now you can see in B2, sorry, I will change this to B2, B2, B2. Compile. Now see, as soon as the object is created, the object is ready for usage. Go on putting values, and these values 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 will come dynamically. Once the values are stored, you can use them. But where will you use them? You should not use the values outside. Yes or no? You should use it where? Inside the class only. That's why I'll calculate the volume also here itself. So int L is equal to 0, L is equal to W into H into D. And I'll return what? Why I am returning the value? Because this value is required outside. Yes or no? I'll return it. And fine. Now you can call it int Z is equal to, or int X, any value you take, X is equal to B1 dot volume. And I can print system Finished now? Coding has become more simple now. Similarly, you can print the volume for what? I'll use the same x, it will overwrite. Understood? Plus x, B2 I'll change. That's it. Okay, B2 dot volume. Okay, so that's it. So when you call B1 dot volume, the values will be used there. B2 dot volume, the values will be used in that location. Very simple. Finished. 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3 and volume is what? 6. 5, 6 and volume is what? 2, 10. That's it. Now if I write void here, what happens? This class will compile, but this class will not compile. So you'll get compilation error, but this class will definitely compile. Okay, but you'll get compilation error. One will compile, one will not compile. Because this is valid syntax. This is valid syntax. See, it will compile actually, but internally it will give, means here it is giving you error. But if you go and see new box dot class has been generated, see, I'll delete it for you. I'll delete both the dot class and I'll compile. It was overwriting there, that's why you're not understanding. Now see, I'll compile, and if you go and see now, box dot class has been generated, but that other one dot class did not get generated. There the compilation failed. And if I decompile this, open with kavaje, a default constructor has been added, see there, because this is treated as a method. It's treated as a method. Now are you following this? Okay, so now if you want to use that, so here you should not call it with new, you should call it with what? B1 dot box you have to call. Now it looks absurd now. If I write the class like this, how will you feel to use it? Will you like to use my class? They'll not be comfortable. This works, but see now, B1 dot box, I'll remove all this. This one will remove. Okay, here also you can call what? B2 is, I'm calling which constructor now? Default constructor, and saying B2 is equal to new box of what? 5, 6, 7. This is valid code. Now it will compile. That dot class also is generated. You can remove now. I'll remove the dot class here. After removing that, again I'll compile. Now this is valid. B2 dot box, no? Clear? But this is not a correct code. Method should be called with dot operator. See, methods can be executed a number of times. That one thing you understand now. Volume method I can call 100 times in one object. B1 dot volume, B1 dot volume, B1 dot 1000 times you call it, will execute. But in one object, constructor should be executed only once, and that's how they have designed it. That's why we should not do the initialization in which are methods. We should always depend on the constructor. Methods will execute 1000 times. You call it, it will execute. One constructor will execute only once in one object. See now, this will work, but this is technically incorrect. It is calling the default constructor. Methods can be called any number of times. Are you clear with this? So always do not do this. Okay, do not write a default constructor with return type. It will give you errors. And here you remove what? Void now. This will work. Now that old dot class will be replaced with new dot class file. If you want, you can check. Always when you compile, see here, box dot class, sorry, open with kavaje. That old dot class has been replaced with new dot class. Here you are not finding the default constructor. Clear this? So install the decompiler, it will be helpful for you. Clear? Any questions you are having? With related to this, extra intelligent questions you don't ask. Related to what I thought you know in constructor, there you hanged out, you ask. Clear? You have. We'll see it in next class. Just code this much. Come, next class we'll see. Okay, see there is some notes related to constructor. Some points you'll understand, some you will not understand. Just you can make a note of all this. It's a special method. I'll be explaining in next class. It's a special method which has the same name as class name. It does not have a return type, even void also. It is also a member of a class. See, even though it's a member, you cannot access it with dot operator. Understand what are the different things you cannot access from a class? Parameters, local variables, constructor, all these things you cannot access with the help of dot operator. This is one of the most common mistake you do. You try to access from the class what? Local variables, parameters, constructor with dot, all this is not possible. Okay, anyway, it's also a member of the class. They are specially designed to initialize the instance variables or to initialize the state of the object, we say. Now what do you mean by state of the object? Objects have state. What do you mean by state? Values. B1 is having the state of what? 1, 2, 3. B2 is having the state of what? 5, 6, 7. So the values stored in the instance variables are sometimes called as state of the object. State, they have some state. So that is the meaning. So, and that's the thing. Okay, now constructor is used to initialize object level resources. This is the actual right word you have to use in the interview, but I will not explain to you this. I will be explaining you this very shortly in the next class. And an object can never be, okay, constructor is always executed only once during the creation of what? Every new object. The same points what I explained to you, I am summarizing. Okay, next. An object can never be created without invoking a constructor, valid or not? Either the default one will execute or your constructor will execute. Yes or no? So object has to be created by invoking what? Constructor. Then next, constructor can be invoked only with the help of what? New operator. Constructor can never be accessed with the help of dot operator, or it can never be invoked by an object, we say. Both are correct. It can never be invoked by an object or with the help of dot operator. Constructor can never be invoked after creation of an object. After creating the object also you cannot invoke it. It is always invoked during the creation of object. When the new memory is allocated, that time it gets executed. Understood? Next, if you write a return type for a constructor, then it is treated as what? If you write a return type for a constructor, it's treated as a normal method and it can be accessed with the help of dot operator and not with new operator. If you write return type, you should call it with dot. If you write, but this is, you should not do this. Understood? You should not do this only. But this is an interview question. Now, if you have not written a constructor in a class, a default constructor with no arguments is added into the dot class file by the compiler during compilation time. Understood? Last, if you write any constructor in a class, then compiler will not add any default constructor. If you write, it will not add. All these points are discussed now. Okay. Next we'll be seeing more things. Meanwhile, you can complete all these points and come. Write it and come. I'll be explaining in next class. Constructors can be overloaded. More things are there. We'll be saying it. Constructor can also use what? Varargs. Understood? They can have access specifiers like private, protected, public. We'll see all that. And they cannot have modifiers like abstract, static, final. We'll see all this. Okay. And they are not inherited into subclass and you cannot override. Just write these points and come. We'll be seeing this clearly in future classes. Clear? This is what is related to a constructor. Next class I'll be continuing more on that constructor. Okay, that's it. That's it.